Okay, let's get 141 to 145 looked at. We have some lovely graphs here, and so these graphs are trying to show us the relationship between output and costs. If we look here, we can see that this is probably tending towards 0. So we're really talking, and this is, we see this average regular movement. So we're really talking about variable costs here, aren't we? Right? This even movement. There are no fixed costs in this picture. So we have variable costs here. Then, of course, when we look at this one, we see that the cost is not changing really on average as we increase output. Output increases, the cost tends to stay the same. So we're dealing with a fixed cost here. It gets a little interesting here. What we see is that we can see some variable sort of behavior, a variable pattern. There are some anomalies, but in the general, we can see some variable pattern, and we know that this is going to come along and hit something here. So we can see there's a fixed element anyway. So there's basically a mixture of a fixed element and a variable element, and that's what we refer to as a semi-variable. Semi-fixed is to do with stepped costs, when costs are stepped and fixed. Right? Okay. 144, same sort of thing here. You could sort of pull together something that looks like that. Then you have some kind of fixed element here. And so that's your fixed element. So that's your fixed cost, and then the rest is variable. So again, a semi-variable cost. Okay, great. And 145, finally, is looking at the high-low method. So what we have, I'm sure, again, you would have done this question before you're looking at the video. You're not watching the video from scratch. Pause it if you haven't. Make sure you have a go. What are we dealing with here? We are able to predict what is going on with a business's profile if we understand what's happening on, if you like, its curve. So look at this curve. We're saying here that it's 17,000 units at 15,000 units. We have things happening, of course, in between. And of course, 17,000 units, the cost of 118,500. At 15,000 units, the costs are 105,500. So what are we saying? We're saying that we can actually understand what the variable cost is. If you like, what is the variable cost with every increase in, by how much does the cost go up? By how much does the variable cost go up when we make an additional unit? That's what we're ultimately trying to find, right? So we're also trying to find what happens when 1 unit of output is produced. What's the cost? And we can do that by subtracting so 17,000 minus 15,000. Over that, I have 118,500 minus 105,500. That's the movement. This movement over here divided by this movement over here. And when I do that, I have 118,500 minus 105,500. That is 13,000, sorry. That's 13,000. That's this bit here, 13,000 divided by 2,000, which is, of course, 6.5. So that's £6.50. So I know the variable cost is £6.50. So all I have to do is I can plug it in anything and find the fixed costs now, because I know the fixed costs are total costs are equal to fixed costs plus variable costs, right? So whenever I make anything in here, there is a fixed element, of course, and a variable element. So I know the variable element is £6.50 a unit, so whatever's left must be the variable element. So starting with this one, if I know that for 15,000 units, I'm at £6.50, so I can calculate the variable element, 15,000, and that's 97,500, which means that the fixed element, therefore, would be 97,500 minus 105,500, and then I have 8,000. So I have a fixed cost of 8,000. So I can assert that this is 8,000. So now that I know this is 8,000, well, it's fine. I can do anything. It says here, what's the likely total production cost for 16,750 units? Well, 16,750 units times 6.5, which is a variable element. 16,750 times 6.5 gives me 108,875, and all I have to do is add on an extra 8 grand, because that's the fixed element, and I get 116,875. That's your answer, B. Yeah. So the key point really is what we're trying to do is, well, isolate what the variable element is. We can find both, but we need to find the variable element first. Find that. When you find that, plug that into any of these. You could have picked anything. Just multiply any of these things by 6.5. Multiply any of these things by 6.5 and subtract them from their total cost, and you will have gotten 8,000, which is your fixed cost. Cool, great stuff. So that's question 141 to 145.